How do you build a brand without having to work with terrible companies, without having to sell your soul to advertise random crap in your content that you don't care about? How do you do this? And how do you do this reliably without having to suffer for 10, 15 years of slowly getting 5 views per YouTube video or per post that you post on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever? This is the question that I'm going to answer today. And this is a question that took me 3 years of working with different creators to figure out the answer for. But today I have worked with writers, I have worked with YouTubers, I have worked with TikTokers, I have worked with Instagrammers, I have worked with pretty much any kind of creative entrepreneur you can imagine, and I have a very good idea of what strategies work in general, what strategies work only at a certain point of the business after you've done this for a couple of years, and I also understand what strategies work to begin with. And you probably want to stick out to the end of this video because I'm going to share the last type of strategy, a strategy to begin with. And it is specialized in starting your personal brand. It's not the kind that sounds good on paper and everyone is doing it, but when you try it, it actually doesn't do anything for you. This works. My name is Jordan Parker. I'm the guy who creators come to when they need to scale their business. And today I'm going to help you tackle possibly the hardest challenge in building a content business, which is getting started. We're going to do this in 5 simple steps. Step number 1 is start with who. Business is not about what you do, it's about who you do it for. There are restaurants charging $20 for a steak. There are also restaurants that are charging $5,000 for a steak. The difference? Who is going in those restaurants? Often the steak is even the same. So here's how to do this online in 2025 on social media. And notice I'm saying the name of the year in which I'm publishing this video because I want this to be relevant. It's not just something that I repurposed from 15 decades ago. So in this business model, you're not going to be selling your products, you're not going to be advertising a SaaS, you're not going to be drop shipping or something crazy like that, and you'll simply go to a bunch of people and sell them some help with something they need. Simple, elegant, and very, very easy. This is important because you need a lot of practice, and a lot of practice is difficult if what you're practicing is very difficult as well. So by making the whole thing easy, it makes it easy to practice, and that makes it easy to get good, and that enables you to do whatever else you want with your business later on. So we're looking for 3 things. People who you like. You need to actually enjoy spending time with them. Otherwise, you'll hate yourself and your business in a year. Next, they need to not have time. If you don't have time, the only way you can get more leverage in life is by investing money. After a certain point of organization, that becomes the only way you can get more out of your days. This makes those people perfect. And finally, and this one is very important, you want people who have money. If you're trying to sell whatever to broke people, they will not pay you because they can't afford more important stuff than your services. If they're thinking about their rent or food, they are not giving you money because they have more important and pressing things to pay for. So you want to charge people who have money. Think of yourself as Robin Hood. You're taking away from the rich and then you're giving the rich a service, which maybe breaks the metaphor, but it doesn't matter. Step number 2. You want to understand your new audience. This group of people that you just found, you need to understand them. Because people don't care about you. They don't give a shit. But they care about themselves. So what you're doing is you're understanding the thing that people care for, aka themselves. By doing this, you can find out what their problems are, and when you understand their problems, you can sell them the solutions to their problems. But you can't just know them on the surface level, you need to deeply understand them. Because people generally have a lot of annoyances, a lot of things in life that they would rather not have. But they don't care about them that much, so they would spend time, energy, and money on them. They just would prefer if they magically disappeared. You don't care about those. Those are not big enough. You want something that is actively hurting them, actively painful, actively being so annoying that it's making their lives miserable. This kind of stuff sells. If you're trying to sell them something that's slightly better, it sells, but it sells so little that you have a very hard time and a very unpleasant time. So you want to find out real big problems that people have, and for this you need to have conversations with them. You need to engage with their content, you need to send DMs, you need to read their emails and reply to their emails, you need to join their communities, even if they're paid, and you need to go on a bunch of coffee chat calls that are kind of useless, but you actually get to understand people in them. All of that might feel a little bit redundant, but it's actually the critical part of this process. The more you understand people, the better you can help them. And the better you can help people, the more problems you can solve for them. And the bigger list of problems you have to pick for, the more options you have for your business, and the more profitable problems there will be in that list. So you can pick the most profitable one and start there, and then if you don't like it, go to the next one, and so on and so forth. Step number 3. You want to start selling your solutions to problems for $0. which sounds ridiculous, but it's actually pretty hard. Because if you come to me and you're like, hey, do you want me to do this thing for you for free? I will most likely say no, because you will need my assistance to help me. You need context from me, from my business, so you can solve a problem for me. So you actually need to do a good job at selling me. You have to try. You have to give me something that feels very valuable so I can even consider working with you. Even if you're not charging me money, you're charging me my attention and time, which is very, very valuable. So you need to practice sales. But to make this easier, we are removing one big part of the cost for the other person, which is their money. You're just asking for a little bit of their time, and usually, if the problem is big enough, if the problem is painful enough, you will get a good number of people saying yes to spending a little bit of time with you. So what you do is you talk to them, you understand their context. Context is very important. Here is the most important thing in business. Then you help them, you do a very good job at helping them, and you do a better job every time you help a different person. You want to always continually improve, because that's the goal. You want to help people and not just take their money. If you just take their money and not help, you're a scammer. Don't be a scammer, actually help people. So you help people, good. Once you help them, then do it again. Do it 10 times, do it 20 times. You need practice. You don't know how to solve this problem well because you don't have the practice. Even if you can solve this problem perfectly for yourself, you don't know how to solve it for other people unless you've done it before. So you want to get in a state in which you have done it before, aka by doing this a bunch for free. Oh, and talking about solving problems for free, you should join Creator Income. Creator Income is my email list, and in there I solve every single problem you can think of for scaling your content business for free. I'm even working on a gamification system that will allow you to get all of my products for absolutely free. You should just buy them if you want to save the time. Link below. That gets us to step number 4. Solve problems for less free. So you're still pretty much solving problems at a massive discount, but you're progressively making the sales harder. How? By introducing a price. After you do this for 10 or 20 people, 20 if you want to be sure, you start increasing the price for every single customer you do this for by $25. It's still a ridiculously low price because you should probably be delivering a service that costs a few $1,000, but you're still charging a little bit of money. They have to swipe their credit card for you to actually do the work for them. Even if it's a little, it introduces friction, and that friction makes your sales harder and of course teaches you more about sales and teaches you more on how to actually deliver to customers and how to find good customers. And as you're doing this, you also want to add 2 more components to this, because we want to actually scale this. You want to find more people so you have more chances of increasing your price by $25, because you need like 50 customers to actually get to decent money from this. To do this, we're using 2 very sneaky techniques. Number 1 is you should sell again to buyers. You go to your buyers and you ask the simple question, hey, remember when we did that thing? Do you know someone else who needs this? You can get 2 positive answers for this one. Yes, I have a friend and I'll connect you, or yes, I want this myself. And then you can explain, hey, I'm currently charging this amount of money, and you get a buyer and they already know you, so the whole process is much, much easier. This is actually very, very powerful, and it reduces the pressure of the sale by a lot, because you're not saying, hey, buy this, you're saying, hey, do you know someone who needs this? Which makes it significantly easier both for you as the person selling and for them to say no if they don't know anyone, because not knowing anyone is not criminal. Of course, you won't know certain people who want to do certain things, obviously. The second thing that you're going to do here to get even more people is ask for referrals. After you do a good job for somebody, at the end of the service, when they're fully hyped, you ask them for a referral. You say, hey, do you have a friend who needs this as well? And if they say yes, you have a high chance of getting a new customer as well. Pretty cool. As you do all of this, you will actually start growing this into a real business. You can get to 4, even 5 figures just doing this step. You don't need anything else. You just talk to people on social media, sell them a service, do a good job, and then ask for referrals. That's it. This by itself is enough for many people I've worked with to scale beyond 5 figures. But we can make it a little bit better. So I'll give you step number 5. Think of it as a bonus step and as the start of the future plan. In step number 5, you need to actually start spending some of your money to make more money. There is a certain point in which you'll cap your current learning abilities and your current skill set, and the fastest way to go above your current limits is by investing in yourself. This is just reality. You can do many things, but this is the fastest way. You'll get faster business growth and more security and more freedom from all that. Here you're going to do 3 things that will ensure that you can scale this long term. Number 1 is you want an email list as soon as humanly possible. Add all of your customers to this email list, add all of your prospects to this list, aka people who might be customers. Invite people on social media to join your list. Everyone who's interested in whatever you're helping with should be in your email list. And you should email this list at least once a week to just give them a short story and then remind them that you can help with whatever you're doing. Keep it simple. You don't need to be super fancy. You just need to stay top of mind. Step number 2, get a coach. You will do so much better if you have somebody who has done business before. And I will do a lot of work to help you for free, and a lot of other people will have a lot of great content to help you for free. But figuring out how to solve a specific problem in the heat of the moment You need a real breathing, living person and not a YouTube video. And for that, it's just easier to buy access to them instead of trying to meet them in real life or something. Finally, as the third thing, you want to start investing in automation, and that automation can be using some sort of a system to automate any sort of boring processes. It can be outsourcing some of the work you have. So you have accounting, for example, just get rid of it and pay someone to do it. And you can also get a VA, so you can get help with basic stuff like repurposing content, publishing on every social network, creating images for Instagram, whatever. That kind of stuff you don't need to do yourself. And the more of the tactical, in the weeds work you don't need to do, the more space you have in your beautiful mind to focus on the things that matter, aka the big picture of your business, the strategy, how you can scale this way more, and what do you actually want to do with all the time and money that you made.